Hello, hello, hello. It must be Tuesday night because I'm sitting here. Here we go again. And relax. Here we go. Now there's nobody in because I'm on my own. Because this is what happens at the beginning. There's just me. What should we talk about? I don't know. We should talk politics. There's an election. Oh, Rene's in. He's in quick. Good evening. See, yeah, they gone and called an election. Who'd have thought it, eh? What's that all about? It's very exciting. They had a debate, a leadership debate. Yeah, which was... it was two millionaires telling the public how they understood them going through the cost of living crisis. It was bordering on comedic, but yeah. So it's going to be great. It's going to be an election on, was it July the 4th? Oh my goodness. It's going to be, isn't it thrilling? No. Nobody cares. The indifferent election where everyone's like, But yeah, it's going to be great. Oh, and Nigel Farage is back. Hooray! He's now leading the Reform Party and stood in Clacton, where an OnlyFans model apparently threw a milkshake over him. When she did it, I remarked to, I think it was Verity. Yeah, Verity. I said, I bet she's got an OnlyFans account, and I was right. You know, it's what you do. You just become psychic, don't you? Become psychic in these things. God, it's quiet out there. It's quiet. Very quiet out there. It's just me and Rene. And Rene's not saying anything. So, where is everybody? It's almost like nobody knows that it's Tuesday night. And this is what we do on Tuesday night. No one's joining in, so okay. Rene says, let's talk about the new interface at YouTube. I don't know, is there a new interface at YouTube? Is there? I wouldn't know. Is there a new interface? What? Okay, go on in, Rene. You tell me all about it, because that one passed me by, I'm afraid. I haven't seen. I'm completely unaware of the new interface at YouTube. Let's have a look. It looks just like the old one. See, I do most of my viewing on the television or on my iPad, but mainly the TV. So it doesn't. I don't know. And this just looks the same. What am I looking for? What am I looking for, Rene? Okay, that was a bit of a dead end. Come on, Rene, help me out. What is this new interface of which you speak? It's terrible, he says. This new interface is terrible. Okay, I'm going to have to do some research into this because I've still got the old interface, or what I perceive to be the old interface. New YouTube interface 2024. All right. Oh, it's been around since February. This is news. I'm completely unaware of said interface. Oh, it's a new. They're testing it. They're testing it apparently. Well, I've not had it. So I'm very sorry to hear of your problems. Mind you, you've got Doctor Who news. Doctor Who news. William Russell, who starred as the first companion, Ian Chesterton, the school teacher of Susan. Do you remember? He passed away. Here he is. It's like I'm doing coffee time. Here he is, back in the 60s. He appeared in An Unearthly Child with William Hartnell. And he recently appeared in the final story with Jodie Whittaker. Yes. But he made it, and here's another. There you go. Here he is there. But yeah, he was just shy, a couple of months shy of his 100th birthday. He was 99. But yeah, he appeared in the last episode, The Power of the Doctor, in the final scene where they've got the companion support group. I thought it was good, that bit. I like that bit. And yeah, he passed on. So let's remember William Russell. There we go. We've done that. I've got to be quiet because it is exam season. In the sorry, it was the sound of a beverage. Thank you for that. Hot beverage has been delivered. It's exam season, you see, and my daughter is a good way over halfway through her exam, so I've got to be very quiet because she will be trying to get to sleep. I've forgotten. I can't remember what she's got tomorrow. I should know. I don't know if it's geography. I think it's geography. She's got geography tomorrow. So I've got to be very quiet and very peaceful. Very peaceful. Very quiet. Shh. Let's be quiet. This is probably going to be too hot to drink, but I'm going to blow on it. That's what she said. Oh, that was too hot to drink. Well, this is incredibly quiet tonight, isn't it? 11 people in. Why are you all quiet? What's going on? Do you not want to play? John says, I see Dave Gilmour has announced London dates in October. Yeah, and wasn't that about a month ago? Wasn't that last month he announced that? Are you going then, are you? Because I ain't. Nope, I'm not going. I imagine those tickets at the Royal Albert Hall are deliciously expensive. Let's have a look. Should we have a look? Should we have a laugh? David Gilmour. This is David Gilmour, isn't it? Shh, gotta be quiet. On sale at Ticketmaster. Oh, blimey. Limited availability. My goodness. Okay, October the 15th. Blimey. They're right, you know. There aren't any tickets. No tickets at all. Well, that's no bloody good, is it? No tickets. Let's go to the Royal Albert Hall. Royal Albert. Let's go to their box office and pretend that we're going to book tickets to Mr. David Gilmour. David Gilmour. It's exciting, isn't it? Ooh, let's find some tickets. Ooh, this is top quality content. It's all sold out. Oh, it's a shame, isn't it? Look, they sold out. How am I going to get my tickets if they're all sold out? Oh well, good job I didn't want to go anyway, so yeah. Tell you what I did watch on Friday. I think it was at the Royal Albert Hall? I think it might have been. I saw Air doing the Moon Safari album. Yeah, because they had an online. You could buy an online ticket to watch it being streamed live, which cost about £12, which I thought was rather reasonable, because me, the missus, and Verity watched the gig. It was all right. They played Sexy Boy. I was happy with that, and yeah, but I think those tickets were in the hundreds of pounds. And considering it's just 3 of them on stage in a little box, it's a lot of money. You're paying basically £50 a person, because I think it's £150. So there you go. Meanwhile, G-Man. Oh, sorry, no. Renee just said, I'm not going to the gigs in huge venues. They're too expensive. I don't think I'm ever going to go to a gig again. I think that's it. I think my gig going days are over. I'm probably going to drop dead soon, so which will be nice. That'll be a relief. So yeah. But anyway, G-Man says, I've fallen in love with a Squier Paranormal jazz bass. I saw a white-bodied one with a maple neck. It was a good price. Called about it, only to find it was sold a few days before. Oh man, that's just sad, isn't it? Let's see, Squier Paranormal jazz bass white. Oh, I see. Oh yeah. Oh, is it this one? Is it this one? Because they've got one in. Oh, why? Why is it linked too big? Hold it. Let me try that. Hold it. I V. Will that work? Let's have a look. Oh, page not found. Sorry. Some of the URL got. Let me try that again. Oh, this is bollocks. Why is my life so full of shit? Bitly. Oh, sign in, log in. Oh, I can't remember how to get in. How did I log in? Bitly, why are you doing this to me, man? I'll be with you in a minute. Continue. I already have a Bitly account. Okay. Why won't you let... Ping. I'll be with you in a minute. This is taking longer than it needs to be because You got to give a blood sample, and oh, you've let me in now. Thank you. Just to send a bloody thing. Create. Copy. Here we go. Just because the link was too big. There, is it that one? He says, asking nicely. Sexy boy. Sexy boy. Yeah, well, I found one. I did find one. I think that's the one. Is it the 1960s, mid-60s one? Is it that one? Is it? Page not found. Oh. 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 Okay, let me try that again. Ignore that link. That was obviously a load of bollocks. Remove. I'll try that again. This time I will test it before I post it. I remember in the old days, everything used to be easy, and now everything's just fucking difficult. Why is everything so fucking difficult? Right, I'm going to try it. Ah, that appears to work this time. Copy it. Try it again. There you go. Try that one. Renee says, I think my CD player will quit playing in the near future. I will have to buy another one. Any recommendations? No. CD players are very difficult to source now unless you go to high-end things. What do I recommend? I don't recommend anything. I recommend vinyl. This is the only good thing about vinyl, is that you can always be able to get a fucking record player. What do I recommend? Buy a Blu-ray player, perhaps, because the Sony Blu-ray players, you can still get them. They'll play anything. SACD, CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays. So my personal recommendation would be get something like that. But if your heart is only on CD players, I mean, Cambridge Audio do them, but I'd never really liked their gear. I know people rave about them, but I've never really. I'm looking in the hi-fi sections. Hi-fi, any hi-fi ones? No. Because Sony and companies like that no longer do like hi-fi separates, and so you do have to go like to the you do have to CD player. Yeah, you're looking at like a excuse me, Cambridge Audio one. This is, of course, I've gone to Amazon, everyone's favourite store, and that's the price you're looking at. A Panasonic or an Auna if you want to go down the cheap end. But yeah, that's all you've kind of got now. Let's go to hi-fi store online. I'm going to go to richer sounds. Accept cookies. Of course, why not accept cookies? Hi-fi separate CD players. Now, the last time I looked for a CD player, like I said, they're all very expensive, and as we can see here. This ain't like the old days. Look, £189, £259, and it goes up from there really. And it's like, wowzers, you know, it just gets more and more crazily expensive. And they call them CD transports now. Yes, CD transports. And yeah, the sky's the limit. And if you want like SACD playback, well, it's easy going to do you £1,000, I believe, easily. So yeah, there's there. So get a Blu-ray player. That was my words of advice. Because I mean, I bought a very old Sony SACD player. It's a bit temperamental, and I fixed it because the rubber bands weren't working. But I fixed it. But I wouldn't recommend anyone else, because one day it's going to go wrong. It's going to go wrong. Does that one do SACD? So I'm just looking. Don't think it does. Oh, but yeah, I know this one does. Gurgle. So something like this. It's 200 quid, but you've got Blu-ray as well. If you want your HD Blu-rays, you know, your Super HD, your 4K Blu-rays, your Ultra HD, you're looking at 300 quid. So, you know, what do you do? What do you do? But at least that will play SACDs with you. And even for a free copy of Bohemian Rhapsody on 4K HD. So, good luck. Oh, is it paranormal? Oh, okay. Paranormal? What the? Is it a 54? Is it a 54 one? Is it a paranormal 54? Is it? Oh, God. Son of a bitch. I saw it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is it? Come on. Oh. Is it this one? Is it that one? That one? Is it that one? Because if it is, good luck. Because I think that's been sold out for a long time. Fancy finding a bass that's about 4 years old. I think I think they stopped doing those a while back. Squire Paranormal Jazz Bass 54. Okay. Oh, don't blame me. I'm just going to have a little nap. Yeah, discontinued. Oh, what are the chances of that, eh? What are the chances of that? What are the chances? Fancy wanting one of those. Yeah, you're just going to have to keep your eye out for second-hand editions. Jimmy says, that's not the... Oh, well, I've done that. Jimmy says, after I was left in the mid-60s jazz bass from Squire. Limited edition version. I got put off by some people's opinions. Yeah, well, don't listen to people's opinions. The thing is, right, people are idiots, especially people on the internet, especially people who do reviews. Never trust anything they say. again, like I've fingered a few guitars in my time. You know, I've uh, I've dabbled with a few Squires, and I think I think for the money, Squires still represent the best bang for the buck. You can't go wrong with a Squire. You know, again, it's all about budget and what do you expect, right? For your money, with a Squire, whether it's a bass or a guitar, you are getting an awful lot of instrument for the money, also an awful lot of quality for the money. And in some cases with the Squire range, the instruments aren't even comparable to anything that Fender do. So, it's like that guitar, right? Or you see, I've got a lot of time for Squire, you see, because they'll do instruments that Fender aren't covering. I like the way that Fender and Squire are doing what they do. I mean, again, it's the same company, but they plan their waves of guitars so they don't overlap. So very often, Squire are doing stuff that Fender aren't doing, and vice versa. And so if you want a certain style of bass or guitar or whatever, you go with the Squire version. And it is horses for courses. Of course, if you get a dog, there's always a danger with any guitar from any company. There's that odd chance that you might get a dog or one that just doesn't feel right to you. And again, two different guitars are the same same line. It can be like night or day. It can be, like chalk and cheese. So it's tricky. But certainly don't listen to anybody on the internet. Just don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to anyone. So, yeah, okay. Well, that's that. Glad we sorted that one. J A says CD transports as opposed to CD players don't include a digital converter on board, so you have to buy that bit separately. Yeah, because expecting you to have it built into the amp. Because many amps just have optical in or coaxial in, so you don't need that part. So, it just does the thing. There's no amp, there's no like analog amp outputs. It's just so they do a lot of these now, like what they call like you said, CD transports. There's a lot of that. But again, if you've got an amp from the last 25 years, then you don't need to worry about it because I will guarantee you've got a coaxial or optical input on said amp. And if you haven't, then what the hell did you buy that piece of junk for? G-Man adds, I stumbled across that paranormal bass on the Bass Gallery website. I'm hoping whoever bought it takes it back as I don't like it. I've got a real beam on it about the bass now in that colour. I don't actually like white instruments, and I've got too many of them. I've got too many of them to just too many. I've got white jazz bass. It's a lovely instrument, but I'm not a big fan of white. I'm not a big fan of white. But, it is what it is, isn't it, really? It is what it is. But yeah, Squire are good. Squire are very good. Very good. If you can hear any gurgles, it's my stomach. I'm not feeling very well tonight. I'm doing my best, but, sometimes it's the first time I've had a real kind of upset tum for a long time. So I'm pretty pleased in that respect. I thought I didn't think it was ever going to come back, but again, it's a side effect of the various, my medication. So it's not good. But I'm feeling a little bit off colour tonight. Excuse me. So. Grant, since I believe the Fall Guy remake did so awful when it was on TV, never watched Lee Majors, was such a wooden actor. Well, thanks, Grant. Thanks. I love the Fall Guy, and I love Lee Majors because he was a $6 million man. So, Grant always comes in with such an attitude. He's full of it, isn't he? He's full of attitude. Look, Lee Majors only appears in the Fall Guy remake, very briefly, I believe. You know, it's Ryan Gosling who's in it, not Lee Majors. It's his film, and it's an IP that many people have forgotten about. But it's a surprise that many films are falling off, and it will continue to happen. There was an interview with Kevin Smith, he's a director, and he's directed many things. And he was saying he owns his actual theatre, a cinema theatre in America, and he was saying all these big films come out, and sometimes you're lucky if he gets one person buying a ticket, because it's the vid. Not that people are scared of it. It's just that after COVID, people realise that they don't have to spend stupid loads of money to watch a movie. You can stay at home and do it, and that's it. It's the end. And also, post-culturalism. Kids just don't care about movies. They're not invested in it. They're not invested in long-form mainstream media. That's why TV's dying. That's why everything is slowly going off the boil, because everybody's fed up with it. I wonder if Fender have got any on their website. I don't think they would. If it's been discontinued. Squire. Have they got the paranormal still in there? Yes, they have. Oh, please accept the cookies. Accept the cookies, Darren. Why won't you accept the cookies? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not much. The thing they're pushing there is the Paranormal Rascal base at the moment. Who's a Paranormal Rascal? Paranormal. Nah, you missed the boat on that one. Yeah, very limited. But they do have the. They do have this one. Look at this one. It's in shell pink. Look at that. I can see you rocking out with that one, G-Man. Look at that. Ooh, it's quite nice actually. It's short scale base, I believe, which is nice if you like that kind of thing. What will happen to cinemas in the future, Grant? They will all close. There will still be a few for weirdos, but there's too many of them, and as a model, it can't sustain itself, because you've got to make cinemas cheap and accessible, and they're no longer cheap and accessible. Again, a lot of cinemas over here are in like malls, shopping malls or shopping precincts. Some of them are out of town, so kids find it hard to get to them. This is long gone are the days. I'm talking about UK, not the US, where cinemas used to be in the high street. It's very rare to see a cinema in the high street now. Again, I think back to the I can remember back to the 70s. I can remember back to the 70s when there was a cinema in the middle of the high street, and there was cinemas everywhere, but they were cheap. A couple of quid. Not even that to get in, 75p or whatever it was back in the day. And, those days are gone, and people have adapted. They've decided that they want to stay at home, and why not? Why not? Things move on. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be honest, with the advent of DVD and streaming. I'm surprised that cinema held out as long as it did, but these things. Renee says, list of Kraftwerk radioactivity. Okay, that's nice to know. It's all the same, isn't it? It all goes bleep and bloop. Nobody really listens to Kraftwerk to enjoy it. Nobody goes, oh yeah, I really want to listen to Trans Europe Express again. Best time I ever listened to Trans Europe Express was in the car, Mrs.'s car. I think she was she'd left me in the car. She's gone. We'd ordered some Chinese food, and she was gone. We'd gone to collect it, and I stayed in the car, and she went to wait because you had to wait. There was a big queue, and I think I got through most of Trans Europe Express in the car, and it was dark, and it was raining, and the rain was pitter-pattering on the windows, and the other cars were like, you know the light gets thrown up as other cars go by, and it was kind of reflecting on the windows, and I didn't have the windscreen wipers on. The car was off. I was sitting in absolute darkness with just the music on, and all the lights. I was just kind of mesmerised, and it worked well. And that's probably the best time I've ever listened to Kraftwerk. I recommend listen to Kraftwerk in a car, in the dark, in the rain. There you go. Perfect combination there. And Grant says, reading Steve Howe's autobiography. Should be called If I Had a Trumpet, I'd Blow It. That's what it should be called, because he's like Alan Partridge. He's the Alan Partridge of prog. Suffice to say, I had the last laugh. Again, for those of you who are not followers of Alan Partridge, that will make no sense whatsoever. But hey, that's what you come here for. To have me talk at you and not understand a fucking word of what I'm saying. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, boys and girls. Sorry, boys. There are no girls here, you fool. There are no girls here. But yeah, I'm glad that hopefully you enjoy it. Go, if you haven't read it already, as a palate cleanser after that, read the Steve Hackett one. It's a much better book. And yeah, he comes across a lot better than the Crypt Keeper does, because Steve Howe is just so. He really is. He's just such an arrogant. Oh, okay. Oh. 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 Jay says, environment very important for some music. One time I really enjoyed Joy Division was listening to it on a train, and it was pitch dark outside. It worked brilliantly, but never been back since. What, to Joy Division? Yeah, well, Joy Division. Yeah, I think again it helps being a teenager sometimes. I don't know with Joy Division. It's been a long time since I've purposefully sat down and listened to them, like their albums. I mean, I absolutely love the hit. I love the hit so much so I covered it because it's just such a good song, and it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what Ian Curtis could have achieved if he hadn't have done such a stupid, selfish thing. But there you go. But yeah, again, I can understand why you wouldn't necessarily want to listen to Joy Division. I get it. I remember one Christmas I got, I think it was Heart and Soul. I think it was a box set, Joy Division. I got it for Christmas. That was a fun Christmas. There you go. But yeah, where's your favourite place to listen to Joy Division? Please leave a comment in the comment box below. No? Okay then. Well, it's very quiet in here tonight, isn't it? Isn't it quiet? And it's terrible because like I could really do with more people talking. Because I'm feeling a bit weak. I'm feeling weak, guys and girls. There's no women here. Grant says, saw Steve Howe getting angry with lighting and sound equipment engineers at a show. Perhaps you're right again. I am right. I'm always right. Look, there's a bit in his book, right? I don't know if you've got to it yet, but if you haven't, spoilers. There's a bit in it where I think they're recording. I don't know, it's either like going for the one or Tomato. It might be Tomato. And Rick Wakeman has got this new synthesizer, and it's based on cassettes. It's a bit like a mellotron. I think it's called a birotron or something like that. And it used like standard cassettes to make the noises. And Steve Howe, whilst Rick Wakeman was out, mixed all the tapes up and swapped them around and put them in upside down and whatnot. And so when Rick Wakeman came back, it all went wrong. And this, I think it was like a loaner instrument. It was like a prototype. And yeah, Rick Wakeman nearly had a nervous breakdown over it. And of course, it was just a jolly jape for Steve Howe, because Steve Howe hates Rick Wakeman, hates his guts. And it's all in the book, you can read it. And I don't know why. I think it's because he knows that Rick Wakeman's the consummate, musician. Wakeman is he comes across as someone fairly easy to get along with, and he wouldn't have done all that session work and work with all those people if he wasn't. So yeah, you read the book and you come away with it thinking, yeah, Steve Howe is a bit of a, really, just thinking, I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's probably, he's probably got a few, issues. He's probably a bit highly strung, but sometimes they have a bit of a blind spot, don't they? And I think he didn't get anyone to read that book and say, Steve, you come across as a bit, a little bit arrogant, mate. But there you go. Reese says, Steve Howe is a pie pooper. Did you see the video, Steve? Kick you head in video where he lost it with Rhodey during Keys to Ascension tour. I think that might be the one that Grant's talking about. No, I don't. No, I just read the book. I just drew my opinion from reading the book. I mean, you can see how he's behaved, and I've heard from other like Yes members in interviews. He always wanted control of Yes. That's why when the 90125 period happened, Howe somehow wangled it, and it's an amazing bit of wangling. When there was like the drama period and then the 90125 period, Howe walked away from that with the copyright to the Yes logo from Roger Dean. How do you wangle that? And that's why that Yes, the Yes West, could never use the Roger Dean bubble writing or use Roger Dean for their sleeves, because Steve Howe owned the copyright to it. It's like, wow, that's amazing. Well done, Steve. Well done. How did you manage that? But, that's the kind of guy he is. That's the measure. What's the measure of the man? So. Renee says, sitting in an empty room, having a joint, and listening to Joy Division. Well, I don't know about that. Gray says, it's because Rick liked a beer and laugh and curry, and Steve doesn't know how to enjoy himself. Yeah, there's that too. I love the induction, because again, if you read the book, it starts with Yes's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Rick Wakeman's speech, which riled Steve Howe, and he goes on about it in his book. But at the time, it's quite funny because you can see, John Anderson going and rolling his eyes, and Bill Bruford standing in the back just laughing his head off, because again, I think Bruford and Wakeman have got a fairly similar sense of humour, and Wakeman didn't take it very seriously at all, and you shouldn't, because it's just a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It means fuck all at the end of it. and I thought it was really funny. And if you're British, that sense of humour, it's just, you know, yeah, that's what we're like. You know, we are irreverent, and we don't care much for ceremony or fake ceremonies for that matter. And Steve Howe didn't appreciate it. He didn't appreciate it. But you know, there's different people in it. That's the thing. Everyone's different people. Jungle James, he asks, "Oh, you behaved yourself? Do I think the girl who milkshake Farage was a plant or not?" Well, she wasn't a plant because I don't think she can do photosynthesis, and I don't think she contains any chlorophyll, so probably not a plant. I think she was very much a human being. Grant says Patrick Moraes sued the Moody Blues before. Yep, he did. That's a very, you can actually watch the court case on YouTube, because that court case was broadcast and you can watch it. It's fascinating. And you know, there's a little bit in that case. There's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. He was arguing that, you know, he gave up other work to be part of the Moody Blues. He thought he was a permanent member, you know, when he signed up. You know, they said it was a misunderstanding, yada yada yada, and that's the basis of that. It's an interesting court case if you want to watch the legalities of it, and it's all up on YouTube. I remember watching that. Fuck no, that was years ago, probably 15 years ago. But yeah, it's all up there. Go and watch it. It's really interesting. Reese says, and now he has it, control over. Yes, indeed, good. He is like that boss that you've worked for. He's completely and utterly incompetent, who just lives long enough to take over the company and then run it into the ground. Look, I don't know why anyone would want to see Yes anymore, because, you know, I think their sell-out by date is long past. Do they still speed up and slow down like they used to? But there's this thing that Yes will always continue. Yes will always continue. Well, no, it won't. It won't continue, because your fans will die. All the old people that are going and who can afford those overly expensive tickets will die, and the kids won't go and see the tribute band that you're putting out, and it will die too. So no, it won't. It will end one day. Thank God. You know. So give it a rest. They should just call it something else. They should just do something else and, you know, move on. It's dead. But then you've got John Anderson touring with, he's got like a band that, you know, covers. I don't want to call them a covers band, but they are. They're like an internet covers band, and, you know, they do what they do. That's fine if that's what you want to do. And he's touring with them, and you go, why didn't you just call it Yes? You should just call it Yes. Just put the cat amongst the pigeons. You know, give them what for. He might as well do, because, you know, it's as much. It's more legitimate. What Anderson's doing is more legitimate than what Steve Howe's doing, because founder member, he can say, yeah, this is Yes. Fuck you, Steve. This is Yes. That's what you should do. It'll be funny, but I don't think anybody really cares about any of it, really. Reese says, by the way, I saw Anderson is touring with the States with a pretty good band. Yeah, I was just there. The band Geeks, or the Geek Band, or whatever it's called. Yeah, they do covers. I think they do them on YouTube. Yeah, it's fine if you want to do that. That's fine. I don't understand why you'd be a cover band when bands are existing. It's different if they're dead, you know, like Elvis or John Lennon or something, or George Harrison. No John Lennon or George Harrison cover bands, are there? You noticed that? But if the band is alive and touring, I don't really understand why you'd cover them. But, you know, each to their own. Just me tuppenny's worth, you know. Reese says, ordered the book. Which book? What, the Steve Howe book? Okay. J.A. says, so Moraes got screwed out of two bands. Wow. Well, I don't know if he got screwed out of it. I can't remember what the argument was. I think they just like kind of started touring without him. They saw him as being unnecessary, and he saw himself as being like a permanent member. And his argument was, well, I gave up so many years. Oh God, it was about a decade, I think, wasn't it? Which was a significant chunk of his career to tour with them. and I guess they treated him shabbily. That's how he saw it. Again, it's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. I don't really, it's hard to side. It's hard to side with them. I've forgotten who won. I think the Moody's might have won that one. I'm not sure. But it's an interesting case of the legalities, the process. That's what I thought was interesting. Reese says, still my favourite Yes concert was ABWH. Yeah, it's good. With Levin, or Jeff Berlin, for when Levin was ill. And Jeff Berlin took over. At a very short notice, poor bastard. But yeah, ABWH was good though. That was my first gig. That was my first actual gig at Wembley Arena. And yeah, it was really good. It was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed that. But long time ago. And then when they did the Yes Union tour, that was good too. That was really good. Saw that one twice, as I've said many times before. So yes, very, very good. I see the review of the new Anthony Phillips album went down well. Why do I bother? I'm just going to do Doctor Who reviews. Do Doctor Who reviews now because get more traffic on those. Any more for any more. Any more for any more. G-Man Spokes, he says, have you seen the Antigua line of guitars? Even Fender, no, it's Squier have done it. Yeah, the Antigua paint job is a paint job that, oh god, it's. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it. Again, it depends on. It all depends on. I'm trying to find it on the website. So I've got the Fender. Website open here. Here we go. Antigua. Got them on there. They've got them on there. Antigua. Oh. Again, it's one of those paint jobs that's. Part of me thinks it's cool. So I quite like the neck on the. There's a neck. They've got the bass. Oops. The bass 6 and the precision bass have got the block binding and block neck, which I think is really nice. I think it's really cool. But I don't need a bass 6 because I've got a Fender bass 6, so I don't need that one. I quite like the Telecaster. Come on, open up. Why don't you? I think that looks kind of cool because of it's the pick guard. It's got this really unique looking pick guard that kind of tops it all off. As you can see, it's kind of snazzy. Oh yeah, very nice. I like, but again, yeah, it's like. What are the other ones? So you've got the Strat. Mind you, that's the Fender. That's the Fender Vintera 2 Strat. It's a slightly different colour. I don't know if you've noticed. The shading is slightly subtler. It's more pronounced on the. Look, you see, the other one's a bit more shady, a bit more fade to it, whereas that one's more defined. And this is the thing about Antigua finishes, is they can vary, and they can vary from guitar to guitar and to line, like here. It's a much softer one. That I think's all right. You know, some of them can be quite, yeah. And then you've got to factor in aging. What we'll do is I'll try and find up another, because the original Antigua line, I think it was the 60s. Antigua. Oh, I'm never going to be able to find one there. Yeah, look at this one. This is a Japanese Antigua one, and you're going to go, what? Look how different that finish is, and that's the same kind of finish, completely different, completely different interpretation. So as a finish, they say it's the most divisive finish in guitar history. Again, it all depends. Sometimes I think it's really subtle and I like it, and some you think, what were they thinking? You know. And again, when you factor into aging into it as well, I'm trying to find an older one. Is that an Antigua? Yeah, here you go. Look at this one. This is an Antigua Burst. This guitar is £2,000. Come on. Did it say what year it is? 70. This one's from 79. And you're going to go, what? Look at that one. That's completely different. It's kind of faded, that one. So I don't know if I pay £2,000 for that. Nice rosewood neck though. So each one is individual and different. You know, meanwhile, look, this is another one from 79, and you can sell guitars on Etsy. That can't be right. This can't be real. And see again, completely different. And it goes kind of grey green kind of colour over time, and sometimes it looks a really kind of murky, and that's what I know sometimes guitars can change colour. That's why if you get a black one, you're never going to get alarmed by it, But yeah, so that's the history of the Antigua guitar. There is an article I did read once about here you go, the most divisive finish of all time, and you got to see this this wall of Antigua guitars. Look at that. Some of them, whoops, they're not so much brown, they're more kind of yellow. Look at that. So you've got Coronados, Coronado bass in Antigua. The most impressive, again, I missed out on this. I saw a Coronado, Fender Coronado Wildwood 2 from about 1970, and it was a bit expensive. This is when the Harwood collection came in. I was thinking, I could do a trade for one of those, and it was just such a unique patterning. Again, I don't know if you probably don't know about the Wildwood finishes. Fender Wildwood Coronado images. I'll look at some examples. Here we go. Boink. Right, this is a Wildwood Coronado, and you're looking at the woods and going, that is absolutely unique. And it is, because I'll tell you what they do to get that patterning. Each guitar is unique. a bit like the Antigua burst, to be quite honest. But you can get one, and then you can get another one, like this one, for example. This is one from '69, and there you go. It's completely different colour. And what they did back in the day, when this was a thing, is the woodstock that they were using to build the guitars, they deliberately injected the trees with various dyes into like the roots of the trees, you know, and that's what caused the patterning on the woods. So they injected, again, a bit of a slow process. They created these very unique stained and dyed, you know, timber using this technique, and that's what makes the Wildwood guitars, each one different. This one I saw was absolutely fantastic, completely unique, but it was over, I think it was about £2 grand, and I thought I could consolidate some guitars into that, and it would be a really big talking point, but I didn't do it. Instead, I got a Coronado. Have I shown you the Coronado? I've been working on it because it was all rusty. How does a guitar get all rusty when it's like, you know, I don't know, maybe that must have been kept in a damp place, but yeah, I got a Coronado, but a modern player one, and because I wanted a semi-acoustic style. I didn't want an Epiphone, you know, Casino or Sheraton or whatever. I wanted to get a Fender one, and I got the Starcaster, but I fancied something a bit traditional. I managed to find one and beat a man down. Not, I didn't beat him, not literally. I didn't literally beat him down, but I did. I made him an offer. He couldn't refuse, and he sold it to me, and I got it for a good price. But it did need a bit of work on it. A lot of the hardware was like tarnished, so I've got to polish it up and everything. So, you know, I think I've probably already shown you that though. So. Shane adds, Rick Wakeman did call Yes Union Onion. He called the album Onion because it always makes him cry. And he said of Jonathan Elias, the producer, I wouldn't trust him with a food mixer. Whereas Elias himself, again, he's done a lot of production work. I think he's mainly movies. And he did a very interesting interview saying, you know, basically explaining what went on and how, you know, Wakeman had his performances down. It was all recorded in MIDI, and he wasn't available, so that they'd just tweak the MIDI and, you know, get it triggering any fucking sound. And so that's why Rick Wakeman was pissed off, because he had no executive decision on the notes, the sounds of the notes he played. Whereas in the old days, you know, he played a mellotron or, you know, church organ. That was the sound. Went on tape. He left it. He came back. That's still the tape, unless they completely re-recorded his parts. But with Union, it was all recorded to MIDI, you know, zeros and ones digitally, and then they, you know, put whatever sounds they wanted. They got the MIDI notes to trigger whatever sounds they wanted to do, and that really pissed off Rick Wakeman, and it would do, I can imagine. And it's the same with Steve Howe. There were so many different session guitarists on Union that they don't even know who played on a lot of that stuff. I think, again, even Bill Bruford, I don't think of that lightly, because, again, some of his drums would have been recorded as MIDI files, and you can just do what you want. And that was the power of the producer back then. And, you know, it became John Anderson and Jonathan Elias's kind of project. And again, it must be weird to record one thing and say, okay guys, I'll leave it with you, and then coming back and going, that's not what I recorded. It must be very odd. I know that happened to him, and it happened to Steve Howe, and, you know, John Anderson has a habit of doing that. Once he gets, you know, they did call him Napoleon. You've got to remember, he was called Napoleon. And I think it's Bruford that said he suffered from lead singer's disease, which means he liked to control the show. So, yeah, nothing changes. So, yeah. But, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know, Shane, how old you are or when you first heard Union. I I came off the back of it. You know, it was we had ABWH. Still got my original ABWH albums up there and single. Let's have a look. Let's go onto the shelf. Please, Daddy, can we go on the shelf? Of course you can. I've even got the Torichis of these. I've even got my original CD. Look at that, from 1989. And look at that. A CD single, picture CD, with an extra track. Vultures in the City, which is unavailable anywhere else. Well, it's probably available. CD's gone a little bit. Looking at that bit of the CD there, kind of gone a bit silvery. It was never like that before. But no, I was a big fan of this and a big fan of this, and bought all the things. And so that was 3 years later, or was it 2 years later? No, 2 years later. But it kept getting delayed in '91. It was meant to be out in like the beginning of '91, and it kept getting moved. And in those days, we didn't have the internet; we had the press, and so you pick up whatever magazine, Q magazine. I don't know. I'm just saying names now. And it would say, "Oh, the album's been delayed," and this, that, and the other. So it was quite. Oh, this is interesting. It kept getting pushed back. And then when it came out, it's just kind of weird. It wasn't what we expected. We expected it to be like a really big Yes album with everybody playing on it, but it was this Yes West, Yes East thing with one band, only putting in a couple of tracks, and the other band, doing the majority of what we thought were doing the majority of the album, and then it wasn't actually that. It turns out a lot later that none of that, none of those people were even like playing on it, which was, again, you didn't find out that till a lot later. So I mean, I have fond memories of Onion or Union. There's bits of it that I really like, and bits of it I'm not so fond of. It was interesting at the time. And yeah, it's a shame because, if ABWH had carried on and there'd have been a second album, I think it would have been, been a really interesting prospect. But that fucking John Anderson, he just wanted to get, see, it was politics, and he wanted to get his hands on that name, and so led them all into, consolidation. But I like the album. I still do like the Union album at the time. I still like it now because of the memories. Looking forward to it, getting it when it came out, the day of release. And listening to it on me Discman on the way to university. Listen to it over and over again, and then go and see the gig, which was 15 quid a ticket, which was nothing. Even us being poor students, we could afford to go twice. Because 15 quid was nothing, and we went on the Friday and the Sunday, because it was there were 3 dates at Wembley Arena, and it was good memory that was. It was a good memory. And you're probably saying, Darren, why did you go twice? Well, because they were in the round, and the first time we saw them kind of looking down into the auditorium, and then the second time we went lower down and saw it from the side. So we had 2 different perspectives on the gig, and it was the first time I'd ever seen like a concert in the round. And then Gabriel kind of did something like that with his Us tour. It wasn't quite in the round, but there was a round stage and there was a square stage representing male and female. Of course, Pete. Of course. So yeah, I mean, different times. Oh, Shane says, got the Union CD in '91. I'm a little older than you. Haha. Got both the ABWH CD album and CD single. Yeah. I've also got the vinyl. I got the vinyl of ABWH too, and the 12-inch. I think I've got a couple of 12 inches. Oh, misses. It's the only time you're going to get a 12-inch in this house. But yeah, you're older than me. But, you know, I just feel older than you. So, but yeah, well then you'll probably remember the same thing. Then you'll probably remember the big delay and how the album kept getting put back and kept getting put back, and how we didn't know who played on it. And again, with Union, even if you look at the credits, yeah, there's hundreds of people on it, but you have no idea what they played or what part they, you know that it says, oh, guitars this or keyboards that, but you don't know where or when or how. You know, I mean, I can imagine it being quite a patchwork quilt. And you know, Anderson plays hard and fast with people. You know, he's got. You know, there's stories I've heard. I can't repeat here because of litigation. You know, there's things that he's done that, you know, that would raise an eyebrow. That's come to me from people that have, you know, that have crossed paths with Mr. Anderson. You know, so he's not all sweetness and light. You know, sometimes he can be a little bit maniacal. You know, but then they said that. They said he was Napoleon. They said he was Napoleon. So there you go. God, it's all happening tonight, isn't it? Bit of gossip there. Renee says, I think Darren is the youngest bloke tonight. Yeah, like I said, I feel the oldest. I've lived many lives, and I've felt many pains. Oh dear, it's been a day of pain today, and giddiness. It's not been good. It's not been good. But you don't hear my problems. I'm trying to get my blood sugars down, but without just stop eating, it's just. I probably need to go to the doctors because I think my medication is failing, which is nice. But you know how it is. Yeah. But yeah, wouldn't it be nice to be young again? Wouldn't it be nice to be young? Oh, well, do you know what? Do you know what I'd do if I was young? I'd drink more. I'd take drugs. I'd sleep with loads of women. Right? I'd probably gamble a lot more. I'd run recklessly out into the road and just live a life of absolute fucking abandon. You know, I'd eat all the wrong foods. You know, I'd be lazy and not move. I'd basically do everything opposite to how I live my life, and see if I still get diabetes. I'll probably be dead though, so there you go. that's my my resolution. If I come back again, if I get a second crack of the whip, I'm gonna do it all the opposite way. Oh dear. I've led a totally boring life. It's not been good. It's not been good. Oh boy. Anything else? Anyone else you want me to bitch about? What else can we do? Anyone? Anymore. Anymore for anymore. No, okay. I'm getting the message, but yeah, do take your time to check out Anthony Phillips' album. It was out on Friday. I did do a review of it. No one's watched it, so that's to be expected. But yeah, it's more your traditional Private Parts and Pieces. So I really quite enjoyed it, even though it's a little bit new age and a little bit fey in places, but it was more akin to what he used to do with those compilations rather than that City of Dreams one, which it didn't really feel like a Private Parts and Pieces album. I like the ramshackle nature of those albums, but yeah, do check out the review, or do check out the Doctor Who reviews, which have done a bit better. That's done good. Any more for any more? No? Okay. I'm hearing you loud and clear. No. Oh, no, Rennie says, Series 3 watch. What series do you have? I have that one. I don't know. How does it tell me what it is? I can't remember because I had to replace my other one because last year, just a little bit. When was it? It was a bit like last year. This time last year, I fell over the dog and landed on it, smashed it to fuck. So I had to buy a new one. I didn't want to buy a new one. In general, about. It says 82771. Okay, let me put that in. Apple Watch 82771. It's a Series 8. Ooh, I did not know that. Before that, I think I had a Series 4, or I think it was an earlier one. But yeah, no, I landed heavily on my watch and smashed it. It wasn't very pretty. You know that thing? The Apple Watch is supposed to alert your next of kin if you have a fall. Mine couldn't, because I fell on it and smashed it. It did nothing. I was picking bits of glass out of my wrist. It was really fun. Because what happened is I've got a dog who is Scooby-Doo, but in Border Collie variety. And she is scared of her own shadow. Not scared of me. She can still get arsey with me when I'm trying to put a coat on when it's raining. But other dogs, she is shit scared of. And we were walking along a road, and it was narrow. It narrows, and there's traffic. There's cars that way. And a lady with a dog stopped, actually pulled in very nicely into someone's driveway for us to go past. And I've gone, go on, let's skip to go past. And we kind of moved a bit, you skip with a dog, And as we've done this, Layla saw this woman with this dog to the side, standing out of the way. The dog didn't even look at her, and she just darted towards the road. I've stopped her from running straight into the traffic and gone eye over tit and just, landed on my left side at exactly the same place where Verity kicked me over, karate kicked me over, and I landed exactly the same spot on the left side of my body about 4 or 5 years previously. They say that, again, the kids and the missus joke they should put a blue plaque up there saying Darren Locke, well-known arsehole, has fallen over twice here. That's the respect that I get from my family. You know, it's troublesome. So yeah, I fell really heavily, and I punctured my lung. Yeah, because I could hear the air gurgling when I got laid down in bed that night, because I was having trouble breathing. It was like, and the missus saying, "You all right?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine." The whole left side of my body's like, can't move. Yeah, because I fell on it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then the next day, I had 50 plus guitars delivered from the Harwood collection, which I had to move myself unaided, because the missus isn't, it's not her job, it's not for her. And I suffered, and all the time the air was leaking out my lungs. But I never told her I had a punctured lung until this year, when it came up to the anniversary. And she said, "Oh yeah, it was bad, wasn't it?" I went, "Yeah, I punctured my lung, She said, "You didn't." I said, "I did." I said, "But I didn't tell you." Because when I laid down, I could hear makes this kind of bubbling noise as you breathe. And there's nothing you can do about it. You've got to rest. You've got to have bed rest, which was the last thing I had to do, because for days after that I was moving guitars around. Ha 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 ha. But I didn't die. I'm still here. Hooray! There you go. Do not go to that spot again. I go past it every Saturday night. We walk that way. So, it's good. Maybe I can show it to you. And you can, when I finally do snuff it, you can put a where is it? Here we go. It's trap seal. It's about there. Boink. Oh, I've got it. Oh, talk about on the bloody button. That's not bad. I dropped the little man. I dropped him right close to it. You wouldn't believe I'm very good at this. So yeah. Where's my controller gone? Here we go. So it's here. Look. It's just here. You see here? There. Twice I have fallen there. Second time, actually I fell closer to here, because I was trying to stop the dog from running into the road. Lady was standing here with her dog out of the way. Me and Layla comes this way. I go, "Go on, Layla." And she goes, and goes this way, and I go over her and then land somewhere here. And lucky I don't get run over. But yeah, it's this part. Like I say, it narrows there. And yeah, the first time, what had happened is there was a leak. Thames Water that was been fixing leaks along here, all along this part of the road. There wasn't a part of the road that hadn't had a leak, and it was leaking here, and it had frozen over. This entire bit here was frozen. So I stop here, and I say to the kids, "Don't step on the," and as I said ice, Verity stepped on the ice, slid into my legs, which caused me to stagger forward, stepping onto said ice, which causes me to skid and fall here on my left side. Meanwhile, Herb, just like a mountain goat, just skips across here. Me and V are just like sprawled here, and Herb's over here just looking at us as we're laying on the floor. It was hilarious. I cut my hands up. Oh, it was horrible. There was blood everywhere. I still walked the kids into school, and I still walked home, and I still walked back in the afternoon and collected them, because nobody sees what I do. Nobody sees the pain and suffering I go through to live this meagre, sad, boring existence. You too could be like me. Just do everything wrong, and you too could have a life like mine. God, there's a thought. Reese says, "Do I still stream games?" No, because that'd be as popular as me doing music reviews. I have the ability to do it. I can do it, but don't. I try to stay away from YouTube as much as possible because I get it. YouTube doesn't like me. Nobody likes me. I understand. I get it, and so I stay away and I just do the things that I can bear to do. Things that I think are going to interest me. So, I do this on a Tuesday night. I keep it to the bare minimum. Do the Doctor Who reviews because, it's a shame I can't get the kids. The kids don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, they don't like it because Doctor Who's on at midnight, and I watch it at midnight. And they go, no, we're not going to do it. Why should we? It's like, okay, kids, all right. And the little bits of music that I might be bothered to do. But again, I don't want to moan about YouTube because it's really easy to moan about YouTube, but it's not a platform for discovery. They've ruined it with the whole shorts thing. The algorithm is just designed to copy the TikTok and Instagram reels, and so they've really focused on that, and everybody else can just go to buggery. It's really hard. I mean, again, the search. I don't know if you've ever tried to search for anything on YouTube. It's nigh on impossible. If you want to search, don't use the web or the app. Use a TV. The TV is the best form to find things because it works better. But yeah. So no, I don't. Why do you want me to? I'm playing Ghosts of Tsushima at the moment on the PS5. I could stream that if you want, but you'd hear me doing my Japanese voices because you've got to do Ghosts of Tsushima in character, and I think that could be problematic. Some people might find that, but a little bit troublesome. Because it's like, I'm doing the kung fu fighting thing, so I won't do it here. But I'm doing Ichi. Is it Ichi Island at the moment, which is good fun. I was playing my flute to the deer and the cats. Top quality gaming, that is top quality gaming. But of course, I'm trying to stay alive for Grand Theft Auto 6. And you like Paper Mario? I haven't got that one because it's 50 quid. And because the kid was saying, "Oh, you're going to get it," and I went, "Because I'm trying to. I've got a fairly decent Switch collection of games, like cartridge games. But when they first come out, they tend to be a bit expensive, so I'm waiting for it to go down to about 30 quid. If I can get a second-hand copy from cash converters, I'll be even happier. But because I think, now I might be wrong, because I think the Switch might be the last proper console in the fact that you'll buy cartridges for it, or tangible product. Because it's the last console, I believe, that will be like this. I'm trying to build up a nice little collection, which I might keep. I say that, I'll probably end up bloody selling it. But yeah, I'm just kind of trying to enjoy it. But, there's always that fear that in 10 years' time, they'll turn off the servers and you won't have access to anything. And I mean, Verity made a good point with, was it Animal Crossing? On the 3DS, because the 3DS, they shut down the servers on that. And she said, well, okay, say if my 3DS goes wrong. And I went, yeah. And she said, well, save data is on the memory card. I said, yeah, just take that out. She said, but would it update because Animal Crossing's got a load of updates that it downloaded. How will it upload the download? Update the downloads? And I said, I don't know. She said, that's one of those games that if you put the cartridge into like a new 3DS and you're starting it for fresh, you're going to get the very, very first version of the game and no way of updating it. And I went, you've made a very good point there, Verity, and it's only made me worry about all those games that you've got that need downloads and updates. But I'm sure somebody out there's probably figured a way of putting it on a server somewhere. But it just shows you just how fragile the whole gaming ecosystem is, and it is reliant on servers being active and updates being delivered and served, even for old games. And I don't think it's fair. But again, we're moving away from games as product, as games as rentals. You don't actually own it, you're just renting to play it for X amount of time, and then they can take it away from you. And I don't feel particularly comfortable with that. And like I say, I've also got a Steam Deck which I've loaded loads of old arcade games on. I use it for that, so I can play Phoenix whenever I want. And King and Balloon, a crafty game of King and Balloon without anyone noticing, and various other ROMs which I've of course I've owned. I own all those games, all of them. Rene says nobody likes YouTube. Nobody likes YouTube indeed. Reese says, is Twitch better? I think I follow you there. I don't tend to use Twitch because I don't like the way Twitch treats people. I've done stuff on Twitch in the past, but nobody watches, so I tend to YouTube. I'm old. I don't really want to be fucking around with multiple platforms. And again, because YouTube does give me money occasionally. You never know. If you do a gaming stream and it gets popular, a little bit more extra micro pennies is also always useful. Whereas I don't think I'll get that kind of leverage on Twitch. So I try and maximise the profitability of my time. That's why I do this, in the hope that I don't know, someone will buy me a packet of guitar strings. But yeah. Reese says, I would watch that with voices. I can't do the voices. I cancel me. They're saying I'm being racist. But you've got to do the voices. When you chop people in half, I nearly did it then. You've got to do the voice, It's just, I'm playing a role, I get involved. It's like in Grand Theft Auto when I'm shooting up everyone. I swear and go, take that, mother. You got to, ain't you? You've got to get involved in it. It's like playing a movie. Yeah. Rana says, with Twitch you have to insert your code every time. Blimey. I ain't inserting my code. I prefer YouTube. Reese says, Steam Deck is great. It is. It's a good gizmo. And I just like it for Emu Deck is something that I've been using and got a lot of time for because it seems to emulate everything. And so all those old classic games, even stuff. There's a pinball thing I love on the PSP. I love that game. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got all the pinball games in it, and it's one of the best pinball games there is, right? And it was only out on the PSP, and they've never done a real good update. You can get those pinball games, on other platforms, but you've got to pay like 60 quid for them. I'm not paying 60 quid for a pinball game, and it allows me to play that. And I have so many good memories of playing this pinball game on the Vita, not the Vita, the PSP. I had the Vita as well. You name a console, I've had it. I've had them all. So sad. I've not had them all. That's a lie, because I've not had I've never owned an Atari or a Commodore or an Amstrad. Trying to think what else I've never owned. 3DO, never owned one of those. I think that covers it. The other ones, the really expensive ones. Oh Christ, I've forgotten the name of them. The late 80s, turn of the 90s. No, can't remember it. But I've never owned one of those either. But everything else, you name it, I've owned it. Anyway, I think I've done enough. I think I've run out of Steam Deck, and I think we'll leave it there. Thank you, Reese, for getting me over the line at the end there. Oh, wait a minute. The Omnichord has landed. Where did it go? I just saw an advert for the Omnichord. What the what? This is earth-shattering. The Omnichord is here 4 hours ago. Uh-oh. It's in stock. Oh, fuck yeah. I know what I'm spending on. How much? How much? I could buy a village one for cheap. Holy fuck. And if you want a gig bag, that's another £109. What the fuck? Oh, I really wanted to get one of those. I can't spend 700 quid on an Omnichord, can I? Can I spend 700 quid on an Omnichord? The missus doesn't need to know. It could be good on the music channel. I could do a review. Maybe people would love me then. Oh man, I really wanted to get an Omnichord. I can't afford that though. That's ridiculous. £700. Can you even connect it to the? Can you even connect it to the MIDI? I think you can. Looks like there's MIDI out. Yes, there is MIDI out, everyone. There is MIDI out. MIDI out. That's all I wanted to know. Okay, that's interesting. Right. Anyway, thank you for that. If I spend 700 quid on an Omnichord, I could sound like Brian Eno, and I've always wanted to sound like Brian Eno. That's what it does. That's it. Anyway, thank you for watching. That's that. I think I'm done. I feel a little bit sick now because I wanted to get one of those, but I didn't know how much it was. You can get a vintage one for cheaper than I'm going on eBay. eBay. Omnichord. I bet everyone's flogging their Omnichords for like cheap. Omnichord. It's got to be more than 700. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is. Right. Here we go. Look, everyone. Look. You can get one cheaper than that. Okay, that one's a bit more expensive, but it does come in the box. But that one comes in a box too. I'm having a laugh. Whoops, pressed the wrong button. Sorry guys. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to think hard about getting an Omnichord. Devil and Angel. You know you want it. Don't buy it, Darren. It's too much money, and you're only probably going to use it once. But you really want it, Darren, and you are a good boy. No, Darren, don't do it. You'll have to sell a guitar, or even 2 guitars to cover the cost. Oh, do it. Give in. Give in. You've got nothing else left to live for. Yeah, he's right. You've got nothing left to live for, Darren. You better buy it. Whose side are you on? You're supposed to be the angel. Oh shit, I thought we were doing good cop, bad cop. No, I'm the devil, and you're supposed to be the... Oh fuck, I've got it all wrong. Anyway, thank you for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed my buffoonery, and we'll do this all again soon. Remember, if you can't be good, be safe, but more importantly, don't tell your mother. Don't buy a fucking Omnichord, no. Ta-ta.